Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. Thank you for being with us for the Boolean Bootcamp. We have prepared this as a two-session series. I see some familiar names. So for those who have been who are coming back, welcome back. And if you're joining us only for the second session, don't worry, we'll start with a quick recap. We will build today on the foundations of Boolean logic that we have covered in the first session. And the goal of all of this is to make you autonomous and confident when building queries in Onclusive Social. And we have prepared also, and we're going to talk about this also at the end, we have prepared a quiz in our academy, in the Onclusive Academy, that is dedicated to Boolean queries. So we really recommend and encourage you after the session to log in to the academy and attempt this quiz. If you pass it, you're going to have a badge and you can share it on LinkedIn. And it's just a great way for testing your new skills and seeing if there are any gaps there in your knowledge. And we're going to show you at the end where you can find it exactly. For those who don't know us yet, just a quick introduction. I'm Anka Matei. I'm the head of customer education at Onclusive. Prior to this, I hold the same position at Digimind, so I'm working on building all the help and education resources for Digimind Social, now Onclusive Social. And I have with me today my colleague Munir, so I will let him also introduce himself.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Munir. I am a customer education trainer at Onclusive.
Okay, and the housekeeping rules. You are muted, probably you noticed already, but don't hesitate if you have questions. There is the question box in the GoToMeeting app, so that is the place to ask any questions that you have, and we'll try to answer during the session. And also, we have prepared for you some quizzes during the session, so there is also where you can answer them. We're going to send you the recordings after. They're also going to be available in the academy. So don't worry, no need to take notes or screenshots. We'll send you all the resources. So what will you learn during the session of today? We're going to review the more advanced operators that you can use when building a query in Onclusive Social. We're going to talk about the wildcard operators that allow you to collect all the versions of the same word. We're going to talk about the exact match operators that will give you more precision if you want to take into account accents, special characters, the case. We're going to talk also about the proximity operators. Very, very important if you want to, if you're looking for keywords and you'd like them to be within a certain distance from each other. And then I will let Munir show you which are the most common errors that you should watch out for. So these are errors that we see a lot on the different platforms. So we have selected the most frequent ones, and you're going to see how to avoid them. And we're going to end with a quick review of all the resources that we have available for you in the Help Center that are there to support you when building queries. And let's start first with a quick recap for those that are joining today for the first time, but also for those that were with us in the first session. So Just as a recap, what we saw, so we covered the three pillars of building a query, the keywords. So we shared with you best practices of how to find all the right search terms for your queries. And here, of course, it depends a lot on your use case. Then we saw that you will use the Boolean operators to connect these keywords, to tell Onclusive Social exactly how do you want to associate the keywords, which terms you want to exclude. We talked about or and not, and today we're going to talk in a few minutes about the advanced Boolean operators. And the third element are the parentheses. So essential also because they can completely change the results of your queries. So we talked last time about how to correctly place parentheses, and we were comparing their usage to the usage of parentheses in mathematics. Now, some of the operators help you expand your search. If you, let's say, you're not collecting enough results, or you think you're missing out on something that can be relevant for your project. So some operators will help you expand your search. Others will play the opposite role. So whenever you need to narrow down your search, maybe you're getting irrelevant results, noise, some of the mentions are not at all what you're looking for. The Boolean operators will help you narrow down your search. So for expanding, we talked about OR. This is the operator that will help you connect all the keywords that you want to monitor, and will bring back any conversations that contain at least one of those keywords. So every time you're using an OR, you are expanding your search. Now we're going to talk today about the wildcard operators that are going to introduce more flexibility in your query. So you're going to collect more results each time you are using them. And also the proximity tilde operator that, again, your query will be more flexible. Whenever you use the tilde, you will get more results. On the other side, if you need to narrow down, you have the not. You can exclude certain terms. You have the and if you want to add conditions. So whenever you're using and, all the keywords connected by and have to be present. We're going to see today near. It's a stricter form of and, because we're going to introduce also the proximity. We're going to say we're looking for the keywords, but we want them to be close to each other. And also the exact match operators will also help you narrow down your query. So these are the tools that you have at your disposal when you are building your monitoring queries. And let's get started. So let's have a closer look at the wildcard operators. And first of all, there is the asterisk. So the asterisk, you can place it at the end of a word. And whenever you do that, it will collect all the words that start with that group of letters, and they can be followed by one or multiple characters. So to make this more clear, let's take an example. So imagine you have the term program. If I place the asterisk at the end, so this will bring me back program. I will also collect the plural form, programs, and I will also collect programmer, programming. So all these words start with the root program, and by using the wildcard, I'm sure to include all the variations of the same word. So this is super useful. I'm gaining time. I'm saving characters, so I will use less characters in the query. However, be careful. Use the asterisk only after a group of letters that is long enough. If the group of letters is too short, the wild operator can be a bit too wild. So an example here for bus. So I place it after 3 letters. It will collect buses, the plural, but I will also get business, busted, bustle. So it's not at all what I'm looking for. So make sure you use it after word fragments that are long enough. Okay. Then the second wildcard operator is the question mark. So question mark, this can be replaced by a single character. So the asterisk was one or more. The question mark is a single character, and the question mark can be used inside of a word. So very useful whenever you're searching for terms that can have a variable spelling. Um Very useful for English, for the differences that you can have between the British and the American English. So for organization, I'm sure to catch both spellings if I use the question mark. I could use it also, for example, if I want woman and women, very useful. Okay, so once we know about, we know how they work, we immediately see why they are so useful, the wildcards. However, be careful, they cannot be used inside quotes. Actually, no operator should be used inside quotes. So let's say that I have electric car, because it's a multi-word term, I correctly place it between quotation marks. However, if I might be tempted to use the asterisk, thinking car or cars, but this is not correct. So I cannot have an operator between quotes. Uh, it will be a simple character and not bring back any results because it will not match anything. So this is incorrect. In this case, I have no other choice. I have to add both terms, electric cars and electric car. Okay, so this is actually, you're going to see later on, this is, we have listed this as one of the common errors to avoid. Of course, the same for the question mark. Okay, so first quiz moment of the session. So we have here a quick quiz. So where have we correctly used the asterisks? So you have here 4 examples. Only one is correct. A, B, C, or D, and you can use the questions box in GoToMeeting to write down your correct answer. So let's wait for a few moments. Probably it's more the time to find the question box rather than the correct answer. Okay, so let's reveal. Okay, and the correct one is B. So we have correctly used techno will with asterisk after, will collect technology, technological. So everything started with techno. The first one is incorrect because we cannot use the asterisk at the beginning of the word. And I know here very often German speaking users ask this question because German words are so long. So it would be very useful. But no, unfortunately, only at the end. The third one, C, it's incorrect because we have used it inside quotes. And the second one is incorrect. We cannot use it inside of the word. What we could have used is the question mark. So B was the correct answer. Okay, so let's move on. The wildcards helped us expand the query. Now the exact match operators will help us narrow it down. So we've talked during the first session. We saw how Onclusive Social is matching keywords, how the keywords are processed, and what we saw is that the is not sensitive to the case, uppercase, lowercase, makes no difference. We saw also that is accent blind. So if you have words that have accents in French, Spanish, in Portuguese, and other languages that have accents, so they will be ignored. They will not change anything in the results. And also, whenever you have words that contain special characters, hyphens, underscores, um, yeah, any special characters, they are transformed into spaces. So and this is great by default, this because it's saving us time. We don't have to add all the different forms of the same word. However, there are going to be some specific cases where you don't want this default behavior and you would like to take these elements into account. And here is where you can use the exact match operators. So first one is exact. So it, you are introducing precise matching. Any accents and any special characters will be taken into account. Um, and I have here an example. So this is a real example from one of our clients in Spain. So in Spanish, bebé with an accent on the last e is baby, while without the accent is the verb to drink. So this was causing a big problem of noise in the results. So the exact operator allows us to collect only bébé, only baby, with the accent. So the way I will write it is exact in uppercase, followed by the colon, and the keyword between quotes. So this is very important here, even though if it's not a multi-word term, doesn't matter, I will place it between quotes. And I will only get, so tweets such as this that talk about the baby and the mother, and I will not collect the second one where I have bébé, I'm drinking too much coffee. So exact helped me fix this problem. Be careful, however. Keep in mind that users in social media, they will not only always use accents. So for a brand like Hermes, the official name contains an accent on the second E. However, in real life, many people will talk about Hermes and don't use the accent. So if I were to use the exact match here, I will miss out on relevant conversations. So use it only in cases where it's really required. And there is a stronger version of the exact plus. So what this operator will do, so it will take into account accents, special characters, just like exact. And on top of that, it's also going to be sensitive to the case. So if the case is important for you, then you can use exact plus. And there is an example here between US, the country, and us. So I could use exact plus. So the first tweet, if there are any mesh fans here, so I will not get this tweet from Ellen Alda that says a great mesh was a great gift to us, but I will collect the second one that mentions the US president. Okay, so quick recap. Make sure you use it correctly. So exact plus, the same as or and not, they have to be in uppercase, followed immediately after by a colon, so no spacing there, and followed immediately after by the keyword in quotation marks, double quotation marks, like this. Also, you can combine it with parentheses. So if you want to apply it to multiple keywords, I can combine it with parentheses, and I can combine it also with proximity tilde. And we're going to talk about tilde in a few minutes. Okay, but a new quiz before we get there. Okay, so where have we correctly used the exact match operators? So two of these queries are correct. Okay, and let's reveal. So the correct one, the first one is not correct because we forgot to place bebe between quotes. The second one is correct because we saw I can use it with parentheses. So I will have EU and or US in uppercase. And the second one is correct as well. Okay, proximity operators now. So the third category of advanced operators. It's very, so first the first one, proximity. The symbol called tilde is very useful when you want the keywords to appear within a certain distance from each other, because the closer they are, the more likely it is that they belong to the same context. It's useful, for example, if you have an exact phrase, a phrase between quotes, and you want to be more flexible. So let's see how you can use proximity. Let's say I have Netflix subscription, so I'm looking for the moment only for the exact phrase. But if I do that, I will not collect this tweet below. That is very relevant. I don't have it. It really speaks about someone who subscribed to Netflix. However, I don't have the exact expression. So what I can do in order to introduce more flexibility after the quotes, if I use the tilde and followed by a number, and this will be the distance, the proximity in terms of words. In this case, what I'm telling the platform to do is to look for Netflix, to look for subscription, as long as they are within a proximity of up to 3 words, 3, 2, 1, or none. Okay, so in this case, this tweet will be collected because I have one word between the keywords that I'm searching for. Okay, so I'm being less restrictive than just by using the exact phrase. I can adjust this distance. So here I have 3 words, but it could be 5, it could be 10. So you can play with the distance and adjust it. And also, as you can see here, maybe you noticed in this example, we're flexible when we use tilde also with the order of the words. We can have, as here, subscription appears before Netflix. It doesn't matter. We are going to collect nonetheless. Okay, I can also use it with more than 2 words. Here I have 3 words with a distance of up to 5. So I will collect here if I'm looking for smoothies and I want to have pears and cherries in my smoothie. So I will collect this recipe because I have 2 words in between. So the way to count the words, I know this is often a question. So I will count from the first to the last how many words I have in between without counting the words themselves. So I'm going to count lime, I'm going to count apple, so 2 words, less than 5. So I'm going to collect this recipe. Okay, similar to tilde, near operator this time. So also allows you to introduce the proximity. The way it works, so think of this query, I'm using and, so I'm looking for results that contain climate and change. If I want to be more restrictive, so to narrow down, I can replace the end by the near. The distance here, the number represents the maximum distance. So I'm going to collect only if climate shows up near to change. Okay, and just like we saw before, the distance is ignored here. So I could have change, climate change. It doesn't matter. If you do want to take into account the order, however, there is the second near operator. So if you place an F after the distance, then you will tell Onclusive Social that you do want to take into account the order. So if I'm using Patagonia near 5F gear, the order of appearance of the words will be taken into account. So it's more restrictive even than the simple near. Okay. And I'm going to end. So maybe you are wondering already, what is the difference between near and tilde? So they're both proximity operators. Until here, they do the same thing. When should I use one? When should I use the other? And we're going to see there are two main advantages of using near over tilde. The first one is that I can combine near with parentheses. So if I want to combine two groups of words, I can combine near with parentheses, so it can be followed and preceded by parentheses that contain the or operator. This is something that I cannot do with tilde. So without the near operator, in order to have the exact same results, my query, so I would have to do this. So combine them 2 by 2, AI and hallucination, tilde 6, AI and error, tilde 6. So I will end up with a long query. So here I'm combining 4 words, but imagine if we have more than that. So we just end up with a query that is way too long. So use near instead in cases like this. And there is a second advantage, is that near can be combined with the wildcards. So if I'm looking for results about AI hallucinations, so can be hallucination, hallucinating. So I can use the asterisk here. While with tilde, I cannot do that. We already saw this. So this would be incorrect. Now, for near, there are many things to watch out for. So there are many common errors associated to near. And here, just to show you, so if you have any doubts of how to use correctly any of these operators, here we are asking how to use near, but could be exact or could be tilde. So you can always ask Otto how to use the operator, what is the difference between them, what are the errors to watch out for when using near. So this will be a quick support. Okay, so one more final quiz before I hand it over to Munir. So this one, it's about the proximity operator. So where have we correctly used the tilde? A, B, or C? And there is only one correct answer. Okay. This one was an easy one. So the last one, C, was the correct answer. The first ones, they just don't. This is not the way we would use tilde. It should never follow parentheses. It should always follow quotes. And I should have, so it makes no sense to use it after just one word. So I should have between the quotes at least 2 words. So I will stop here and I will let Munir, who will show you how to use these operators in the query builder directly.
Okay, so before we continue, let's go to the platform and try to use some of the advanced operators to refine our existing Boolean query. So in our previous session, we created a query to monitor Tesla-related boycott mentions. So let's go to the backend. Again, if you want to access the backend of the workspace, you need to have editor rights. So if it's the case, you can click on the cogwheel button and then click on Edit this workspace. Next, let's open the list that contains the query. It's the Tesla list. And then we can click on the pen icon next to the query to open the query builder where we can view and edit the query. Now, this query is functional, but it can be refined further to increase relevance and precision. So here we can use the asterisk at the end of keyword boycott to capture word variations like boycotting, boycotted, or the plural boycotts. So here I can add the asterisk. So this will help me avoid listing every variation possible, which will make my query shorter and easier to maintain. And we can also use the near operator instead of the and that connects the Tesla related keywords or the monitored keywords with the context keywords. So the near operator will ensure that the two groups of terms appear within a specified number of words of each other, which will make the results more contextually relevant. So here I will replace the near or the and operator with the near, and I can also specify the distance. Let's say I want to collect mentions where this group, where at least one of the keywords in the first group appear within a distance of 5 words from the second group of keywords. And here I can use the near because both groups of keywords uh, contain only the or operator. And it's important when you are using the near operator to combine it with parentheses that contain only the or operator. However, my query uh, large and contains other operators. So I should put this expression, the whole near expression, in between parentheses. So here I will add a parenthesis at the start, and I will add a parenthesis here. There's an extra parenthesis, boycott. Okay. And if we want to capture only mentions containing the keyword US in uppercase letter, I can add an additional condition with the help of the AND operator, which means that the tool will look for mentions that contain um, one of the keywords from the first group when it's near 5 words from the group of keywords, the second group of keywords, and also mentions that contain the keyword US. So here I can add the AND operator and add US. But in this case, I risk to collect mentions that contain the pronoun us instead US in uppercase letter, because by default the tool is not case sensitive, so it will match both US and the pronoun us. And in case I want to match only the mentions that contain US, I need to use the exact plus operator, which helps me get exact matches and makes the search case sensitive. So here I will add exact plus followed by a colon, and I need to put the keyword in between quotation marks. Now I can test my query. I can click on next to test my query and check for any syntax errors. So the query doesn't contain any syntax errors. I should be able to preview the results and save it. But sometimes the query builder will show you an error message. And if you remember from the last session, we got an error message when we tried to save our query. And the reason why we got an error message the last time, it was because of one of the context keyword, which was protest. And this keyword cannot be monitored in Onclusive Social because of compliance reasons. And that's why we got that error message. But after we removed the keyword protest from the context keywords, we were able to save the query. Now let's go back to the slides and let's talk about the common errors that you may get when you try to save a monitoring query. And some of these errors will generate an error message while trying to save the query. And others without an error message will lead to unintended results. So we will uh, go through these common errors and we will also see how you can avoid them. So different onclusive social modules support different operators. So basic operators like OR, and NOT can be used throughout the platform. But advanced operators such as near or exact plus are only supported in the Boolean query builder. For instance, if you use the near or exact match operators in the historical search, the tool will give you the message no data found instead of showing you the results. So for a complete reference of which operators are available in each specific module, you can check the Boolean operators cheat sheet, which is available in our help center. So this GIF will show you how you can access the help center and how you can access the article, which you will find at the top of the main page of the help center. So in this article, you will find all the Boolean operators supported by the tool. You will also see an explanation of each one and where you can use the Boolean operator. And writing Boolean operators in lowercase letters is also one of the common errors. The tool is not case sensitive by default when it comes to keywords, but for Boolean operators such as OR, AND, NOT, near, exact, or exact plus, they must be written in uppercase letters. So here we have some examples. So in this example, the system will not recognize the AND or the OR as Boolean operators, but as keywords. So the correct query would be written with Boolean operators in uppercase letters. And Boolean operators like OR, AND, NOT, and near must be separated from keywords and parentheses by a space. And if the spacing is incorrect, for example, if you write a query and you forgot to put space between a Boolean operator and a parentheses or between Boolean operators and keywords, it will lead to an error message. So in this case, we didn't put a space between and the parentheses. The correct way will be to separate keywords from parentheses and from Boolean operators using a space. And when no operator is placed between keywords, the system automatically applies the AND operator. And the AND operator narrows down the query, which may lead to overly restrictive results. For example, if you write Tesla, BMW, Toyota, and Renault without any Boolean operators to connect those keywords, the tool will interpret the query as Tesla and BMW and Toyota and Renault. And it will start looking for a mention containing all these four keywords within the same mention. So instead of searching for Tesla or BMW or Toyota or Renault, which will return mentions containing at least one of these brands. And also don't forget to use quotation marks around multi-word phrases or terms containing special characters, such as apostrophes, hyphens, underscores. And without quotes, the system will treat each keyword separately and applies the AND operator between them, which will alter the meaning of your search. So for example, Bill Gates without quotation marks will become Bill and Gates unless written as Bill Gates in between quotation marks. Same goes for L'Oreal. It will become two words, L, and then Oreal because it contains an apostrophe, a special character. So unless it's placed in quotation marks, the tool will return results containing uh, separate words and not necessarily side by side. And one of the errors that may occur is using the wrong style of quotes for multi-word phrases or keywords that contain special characters. So only the neutral double quotes are supported by the tool, and other styles such as the curly quotes uh, or the single quotes are not supported by the tool. So here we have a few examples. The first one with single quotes, second one with curly quotes, and the correct one will be the neutral double quotes. And this may happen when you are writing keywords or when you are writing your your query in a Word document and trying to copy paste it into the query, into the Boolean query builder. So you need to make sure that the Boolean or the quotation marks are the neutral double quotes instead of the curly quotation marks. Confusing the quotes and the parentheses is also one of the common errors. And these two symbols, they serve different functions in Boolean searches. Quotation marks are used for multi-word phrases, ensuring words appear together in that specific order, while parentheses, they group keywords or phrases together so that Boolean operators can apply to the entire group. And mixing up these symbols can significantly change your results. So we have here a few examples. So put in electric and car between quotation mark uh, will cause the tool to look for the exact phrase as it is written. And the tool will not show you an error when you're trying to save a query that contain this expression. And the tool will start searching for a mention containing the expression electric and car literally. So the literal expression that is between the quotation marks. Second example, electric and car. So this expression will search for both words anywhere in the text. So this will be the correct usage if you want to find mentions that contain the first keyword, electric, and the second keyword, car, within the same mention. Electric car with the in between parentheses will be interpreted as two keywords without defined operator. So here the tool will imply an end between electric and car, but it will not return mentions containing electric car with the two word side by side. Instead, you should enclose the phrase in between quotation marks so that the tool searches for the exact phrase electric car where the two words must appear together in that order. Confusing the or in the end can also be one of the common errors. And these two operators, they perform opposite functions in Boolean searches. The or expands the search by retrieving results that include at least one of the terms, while the AND operator narrows down your search by requiring all the elements to be present. And a frequent error is using AND when the goal is to increase the number of results. So for example, this query, Sony and Samsung and Huawei, will only show results that mention all three brands. And here we have an example of a tweet where three brands are mentioned within the same mention. Whereas this query, Sony or Samsung or Huawei, will include results mentioning any of them. So here we have a visual representation in this Venn diagram, so you can see the difference. On the left, we can see the diagram representing the queries Sony and Samsung and Huawei. So the tool will return very few results where all three brands must appear. And on the right, the queries Sony or Samsung or Huawei is represented in this diagram, and it will show you and it will return mentions where any of the brands can appear. Now let's talk about the wildcard operators. So for a quick recap, the asterisk can be used only at the end of a word, and the question mark can be used only in the middle of a word. Here we have a few examples. So the first example is incorrect because we can't place the asterisk at the beginning of a word. This keyword, for example, will not return search results such as e-learning or micro learning. It will not be recognized by the tool. So this is incorrect. This example is correct, and it will match words that start with those characters, such as technology, technological, technologies, etc. This example is incorrect because the quotation mark cannot be placed at the end of a word. It can only be placed within the word. It will not match results such as phones. And the last example, organization, is correct. The the question mark is placed within a word, and it will match, this keyword will match both the British and American spelling of organization. Also, wildcard operators must not be placed inside quotation marks, because any operator placed inside quotation marks uh, become plain plain text or plain characters, and it will no longer be recognized as Boolean operator. And here we have an example of electric car with the asterisk placed at the end of car. So if you want to capture both the singular and plural form of this phrase, you should add them separately. So we should have electric car or electric cars. So now let's see some common errors in the usage of the near operator. So the near operator requires proper structure. If you are looking for two groups of keywords that should appear at a specified distance from each other, they can only be preceded or followed by parentheses containing only the OR operator, like the example shown on your screen. So both group of keywords contain only the OR operator. If the parentheses contain other operators, such as and, not, near, or the proximity operator, they will not be supported, and the query will return an error message. Like the examples that we have here, where we are using the and, the not, the near, or the proximity operator along with the near operator. And if the near expression is part of a longer query, it needs to be placed between parentheses. Like the example we have here, we have placed the entire near expression between parentheses, and then we added other Boolean operators with other keywords. And one of the very common errors is redundancy in keywords. So adding both a general term and its more specific forms is redundant, and it creates needless complexity without any impact on the results. It will not broaden the results. For example, IKEA or IKEA furniture or IKEA electronics is redundant. And the last two terms, IKEA furniture and IKEA electronics, are unnecessary because the general term IKEA already captures mentions that include the more specific terms, furniture and electronics. So removing those redundant expressions will keep your query short, and it will not impact the results. And remember that there is a character limit of 4,096 characters. So for a large query, you risk to exceed limits by adding unnecessary searchers. Okay, so we have a quiz here. So let's apply what we have learned about common errors. So here we have a query that contains multiple errors. So the query is trade war, followed by parentheses that contain uh, context keywords such as electronics, agriculture, fashion, and tech. So think about the answer. There are more than one answer to this question, and feel free to share with us your answer in the questions box. Okay, so let's check the answer. Now the query has a missing operator, so there is no operator between trade war and the context keywords. And the operator here should be and because we are adding a condition. We want to collect mentions that contain the first keyword with one of these keywords. The last answer, or the answer D, is also correct. The operators used here is incorrect because the end operator narrows down the results. So instead of looking for mentions that contain trade war with either electronics or agriculture, this query will search for the keyword trade war with all these 4 keywords that appear within the same mention. So the correct operator in this case will be the OR operator. The parentheses are used correctly to group the context keywords, and the multi-word phrase here is placed between quotation marks, so uh, there are no mistakes in using quotation marks. So back to you, Anka, to talk about the different resources for query building.
Thank you, Munir. And yeah, we are approaching the end of the session. So if you have any questions, add them to the question box, and we'll still try to answer them. And let me show you how you can, because we've just seen some of the most common errors. Let me show you first of all how you can use Otto to troubleshoot some of these errors. So let's say that maybe you got an error message as you were trying to add a query, or maybe you didn't get an error message, but the results are not really what you're looking for. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so you've seen before how you can use Otto. There was an example. We were asking for help how to use the advanced operators. Now, how I would use it for troubleshooting a query error. So I have here some examples. So just to save time, actually we are using and instead of or. So this would lead to probably 0 results. I might be wondering what's wrong, why I'm not collecting any mentions. And here is warning me. So probably you would like to use or and suggesting me the alternative query. Okay. Other resources, so let's see, 2 more minutes. So in the knowledge base, so if you go directly to the knowledge base, you can find a cheat sheet with Boolean operators here. You can find the article how to add a query, and we have recently added a new collection. So here you really have the ABC of building a query, how to find the keywords, which operators you can use, how to use the parentheses, and this article for troubleshooting errors. So everything that we've seen in the presentation, and even with more examples and more detailed, you can always refer to this article. From the help also, you can have access to the Onclusive Academy. You will have just to register the first time. And once you are in the Onclusive Academy, if you want to go further, so we have actually 3 courses that are dedicated to Boolean queries. Getting started, advanced. So this mirror the sessions that we've had together. And there is also one that I recommend. So this is tips, best tips for fine tuning your queries. And in the certification part, so we were saying there is a new quiz that we have prepared for you for Boolean skills. So you'll be able to find it here. I think I don't have it assigned on my profile here. Let me see if I can find it here in courses. Okay, so you can find it here. So this is the we encourage you to try this now that you have completed this Boolean bootcamp. So we hope that that all of this that will be useful for you. If you have any questions, let us know, and we're going to send you all the resources, all the content by email. So thank you very much for your time.